Hello and blessed greetings, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Wednesday Check-In here on the WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast, where we stand for God's truth, not man's traditions, and we bring you straight Bible truth for these last days. The WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast is a virtual outreach ministry of Sacrificial Lamb Ministries. We are outreach driven. It is Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. This is your host, Vince Wilson, founding pastor and teacher here at Sacrificial Lamb Ministries. We are outreach driven. It's another edition of the Wednesday Check-In, and this is when we come together every Wednesday to give you announcements, updates on what's happening here around the ministry. Last week was action-packed. I gave you so much information last week. And not much has changed since last week. Yeah, we have one new change that I'll share with you in just a moment. But if you go back and listen to last week's episode of the Wednesday Check-In, I gave you a laundry list of major changes that were made here at the ministry, here on the podcast as well. So I encourage you to go back, listen to last Wednesday's episode of the Wednesday Check-In, and you'll get it all. But for this week, the one new change that I want to share with you is that we've had a program change. In other words, we had been sharing with you Marriage Moment. We will no longer present Marriage Moment. And Marriage Moment was something that we just stuck in every now and then, here and there. There was no set programming for that. It was just something that we just put in between our 5 weekly programs. But we have a new program that we replaced it with, and it's called The Pastor Prescribes. Again, it's called The Pastor Prescribes. And The Pastor Prescribes is basically a topical presentation, if you will, a topical presentation featuring quotations from Ellen G. White. So it covers many different topics. And when we present our first episode of The Pastor Prescribes, you'll hear what I'm talking about. But again, it's called The Pastor Prescribes, and it's a topical presentation covering numerous topics, including relevant quotes from Ellen G. White. And I think you'll be blessed. I think you'll enjoy that. It's something we're going to launch sometime this week. And just like we did with Marriage Moment, there's not going to be any set day or time that we will present this program. It'll just be something that we'll insert here and there throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, no other changes, no programming changes other than that. You can still find us on numerous platforms now. I will reiterate, last week I said that we have a new platform. It's called On Podium. And On Podium is our dedicated website for the WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast. You can listen to all of our episodes on that website. You can donate to our Patreon account. You can shop the Sacrificial Lamb Ministries virtual store. There's so much more that you can do on that website. And I will drop the link in the episode description box for this particular episode of the Wednesday Check-In. I'll drop the link there, and you can go check out the website for yourself. All the other things that I've already spoken about last week, please go back, listen to last week's episode to get the rundown. Friend, that is it. Nothing else to share with you this week. All I can say is to please continue plugging in to the WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast. This is our virtual outreach ministry for Sacrificial Lamb Ministries. So anything you want to know about Sacrificial Lamb Ministries, in addition to our official Sacrificial Lamb Ministries website, you can hear about that right here on the WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast. So this is your host, Pastor Vince. I'm signing off. And I just want to let you know once again that you're listening to the WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast, where we stand for God's truth and not man's traditions, and we bring you straight Bible truth for these last days. The WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast is a virtual outreach ministry of Sacrificial Lamb Ministries. We are outreach driven. Friend, have a blessed rest of your week. Take care. May God be with you. May God bless you. And continue to stay plugged in here to the WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast. Be blessed.